everyone, how are you? My name is Wanjiko Bosire.
I'm June Kipingor.
Ochieng.
Yes.
And today, as usual, we talk about ABA stuff. As we said, applied behavior analysis, which is the only evidence-based intervention in the States and Canada.
Yeah.
Both myself and June were both in school, and as part of our practicum, we said we do this to benefit others. A little bit about myself: I'm a parent to our child who is on the spectrum, who has autism, and we have been doing ABA for the past 3 going to 4 years. He's about almost 6 now. We started really early. Under one of the 3 BCBAs in Kenya, and it has been a very exciting journey. And well, previously I was in business. I did my degrees in business administration and what, so you can imagine what kind of move I had to do to come to this world. But anyway, you can do anything for your child, right? So hence the reason we are doing this. And also, if I benefit, why not make another parent benefit from it? So previously we have done other episodes. I think we are like on 5, if I'm not wrong. And one has been about manding, which kids who are really young, especially because manding is the first language kids learn. You learn how to request first. So getting that properly done will really get the kid talking and everything and communicating, and that's what we want. Yeah. So make sure you check out that. There's one episode we have done on manding. The video quality is not professionally done, but it has a lot of good information.
Yes.
Then we had one on challenging behavior, which was also very good, which has good information.
Yes.
And washing hands, which we are going to complement it today, because you still today we'll talk about potty training. So you see where the connect of potty training and washing hands come, in the sense that after potty you need to wash your hands. Then, and today we felt also we need to talk about instruction control. Instruction control is about how to keep the kid doing
what you've asked them to do.
What you have asked them to do. Yeah.
And not requiring for you to keep repeating the instruction. Which is something a lot of parents do.
Yeah. And then remember, behavior is taught.
Yeah.
So what we unknowingly reinforce.
Yeah. Our children learn very willingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
They quickly capture it.
Yeah, and just to give you an example, I mean, when you ask your child, come here, let's go eat food, and maybe they're sitting in the TV room, and you keep saying, come here, come here, come here, come here, and you keep repeating the instruction, which is something a lot of parents do, and the child is just continuing to watch TV very happily. They learn, it's okay, mom will continue saying it, and eventually they'll stop saying it because you get tired of saying, come here, my child is not coming, and you move on to something else.
And also they learn, mom will keep on saying, come here, you don't have to go, nothing will happen, you know. I mean, even for typically developing kids, when you tell them, come here, and they don't come, you go to where they are, and you know your normal, your reaction.
And this happens for all kids. It's not just autistic kids. This is every child.
And they learn.
So ideally, this is what instructional control is.
Yes.
This is what instructional control is. You only place the demand once. And I'm stressing this once. The second time you're saying it, you're making the child do it. So they learn. My parent is not going to say, do this, do this, do this, do this over and over and over for you to do it. They say it once and you do it. And you're not making them do something bad. This is just respect. This is just how they should respond to anyone in school, be it a teacher, be it any adult or peer, anybody. As long as someone says, please come and do this, out of courtesy, please go do that and don't make someone just keep saying, keep the instruction over and over. And that's something you should, I think, is good to teach your child. Yeah,
it's good to teach your child. So let's say with the example she was saying of maybe the kid is in the TV room and you want them to come, and you tell them, let me give you an example of Kirongo. Kirongo, come sit with me. And I wait 2-3 seconds, he's not. So what I do is go to that room, go pick him up and say, Kirongo, come sit with me.
As you're
leading him, you're prompting him to come to what you want him to do.
Yeah. And for us, we stress to have a neutral voice. Yeah, because then you're not giving him any reinforcement. Because some kids get reinforcement from even when you're angry. Yeah, so no reinforcement if you're in a neutral voice. Come and sit, and you just come and sit. And they, over time, they learn. My parents says this, and they mean for me to follow through. Yeah.
Yes. And of course, there are those where he'll be like, he'll stamp his feet. You just continue, prompting him, and don't increase your voice, as she said. Yeah. Come and sit with me, and make sure he sits.
Yeah, and the only reason a child will have that behavior of not wanting to come, or tantruming, crying, whining, whatever it may be, is because there's a history of probably you giving the demand and they didn't have to comply. So when you finally decide, no, this time I'm gonna consistently, and I stress on this, don't do it once and not do it, and the next time it's okay. You can ignore me. It's fine. Consistently do this, and it's fine if they have problem behaviors, because there's a history of you giving in and letting them ignore you. So if you make sure that they follow through, that problem behavior will decrease over time. And they'll learn, my parents says this and I just need to do it.
And of course, initially, before they get used to it, of course, because the previous one of not following instruction used to work before. So of course there'll be that crying a lot more, maybe throwing a bit more tantrums. Yes. Yeah. So that,
they're trying to get out of it.
Yes, they're trying to get out of it. And here's the trick. If you tell him, come and sit with me, and he throws his tantrum and, throws books and everything, or whatever which is there about, and you leave him, then he learns, hey,
that's all I need to do.
Yes, that's all I need to do. Hey, every time she tells me something and she comes for me, all I have to do is
throw a book.
Yeah.
Throw myself on the ground.
And
she'll let me be.
And she'll let me be.
Yeah. That's another common mistake that parents make.
Yes. So you want to always follow through what you have said.
Yeah. Despite what may happen.
Yeah.
Because your intentions are good. So keep it up. Yeah. Make sure you follow through to the end.
And let's say maybe that happens maybe 3 times. You're telling him, come sit with me. Maybe it's dinner time. You want him to eat his dinner. And second time, the first time he throws a tantrum, second time he throws a tantrum, but you still kept your instruction of it. That time he'll be like, oh, this is so effortful, let me just go sit.
Just better I just come and sit.
It's better. I'm using energy. So the reason why we felt we needed to talk about just a little bit about instruction control is because it touches on everything.
Introducing something new to your child.
Yes.
I don't want to. Some things if it's new and they've never done it before, for some children it's aversive. They're like, I don't know if I want to do this. And if you have instruction control, it's easier to train them into it and teach them than if you have no control whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah. Or telling them to do something that is just naturally difficult. For some kids, it may be just the potty training. For some kids, maybe you decided you want to teach them to take their dishes to the kitchen, and I'm like, it's not something that they would like to do. So it's for them, it's demanding, it's a challenging thing. They don't want to do it. But if you have instruction control, they'll recognize, my mom has asked me to do this. If I don't do this, she'll just require me to do this. So rather than go through all of that, let me just follow through that I'm being told. It makes, honestly, instruction control makes life easier for all of you.
All of us.
Overall,
and the parent having it in the, with your child in the natural environment, meaning, during your dinner or when you're playing with him, fix the blocks. Let's say he's doing the blocks, then he's just maybe doing, you want to take the hand and, make him
put
face.
the block on.
Yeah.
Put the block
And
on.
of course, remember about what we said about even prompting. Prompting, you want to use the least, as in the less.
Yeah, the least
prompting you can.
Prompt, yeah.
So if it's fixing the blocks, you want to just maybe,
He's capable,
because
just
he knows then. So the same thing with taking the plate to the kitchen. You tell him the first time, then he doesn't take. Then go take the plate to the kitchen. Then he goes
you come from behind.
Yes, and
hold the plate.
yes, and remember in a neutral voice, take your
Mhm.
plate to the kitchen. Take your plate to the kitchen. Take your plate to the kitchen. So that way the kid learns that anytime my mom tells me something, I have to do it. Anytime my dad tells me something, I have to do it. Every time then my nanny tells me something, I have to do it. So this has to be all round. Everyone in the home has to apply it, because also they learn, hey, my mom, if she tells me something, I have to do it. But if dad tells me, I don't have to do it, because the dad is not following these instructions. He's not following, does not have instructional control with the child. So you need to be all in the same ball game, all of everyone in the home. Yeah. So anyway, today
the other topic.
And of course many of our topics are still going to touch on what we said there previously, and especially about challenging behavior will always come back to that. So keep watching our episodes,
and it'll be easy if you watch all of them, because you'll be able to link our
link all. So today we are going to talk about Potty, and we are going to talk about
one way that helped at least Jackie Karongo when he was learning to potty train. There may be other methods out there, but we'll share what we know.
And we might not be able to speak everything, but we'll also speak of the challenges that we faced maybe in another episode, which might be similar to yours if you are.
At least this might be helpful for one parent or another.
Yes. So reason for instruction control. So I tell Kerongo. Okay, first of all, let's go back first to how we started. Yes. So we took data for 3 days, I think. Then we would find an average of, so Kerongo is having his normal, when he takes his water, when he takes his food, everything. And then, first of all, potty, we only do for pee-pee. We don't do for the second, the popo.
We focus on
the pee-pee.
Point number one.
Yes. So, we took data for 3 days, I remember that. And
just to find out the frequency of when he goes to the toilet.
Yes, and I remember, I think it was about an hour and a half there. So that's where he would susu on himself. And the reason why we started it, because we noticed Kerongo before he susus on himself, maybe he'll be touching. Well, I don't remember him doing a wiggle dance.
That's a different kid then. I've had kids who wiggle as well. But your child may present in a different way.
Or So that's the reason why we initially felt he's ready for potty, and potty can be a bit intensive. So 3 days we took data. So he used to do maybe an average of 1.5 there to 2 hours. So what we did now after that is would give him a lot of fluids. Would give him juices, would give him water, all through porridge, anything that makes you want to go.
This just creates for us more opportunities to work through the procedure that we were going to work through.
Yes, and also he has more opportunities to use the potty. And more opportunities, that means more opportunities for him to be more successful. So that's, I remember when you're doing table, we used to have your bottle of water with Keron when he's having,
That was my reminder. I drink a lot of water.
So now we put him on a schedule of
45
minutes, I remember. And So every time we'd have a timer. 45 minutes, we'll take him to the bathroom, and then go on.
So the instruction usually after 45 minutes, I'll be like, time to go potty. And because this is not a natural thing for him to know, I go to the bathroom and that's what the potty is. So I would obviously go hand over hand. If you had watched the hand washing episode, remember we had a step-by-step procedure that we took the child through. This is the same thing we did here. So
task analysis.
Yes, and it's called a task analysis. So this is what I would do. So I would, if he doesn't, I mean, he wouldn't necessarily know to go to the bathroom. I would walk him through, and so I would stand behind him and just nudge him there. And he was quite willing to walk to the bathroom. So we would walk to the bathroom. Then it's pull down your pants. And I think for this one, actually, we would even verbally give the instruction.
And then, when he's pulling down his pants, you want to do it with him. If he doesn't know how to do it, you want to do it with him. Don't do it for him.
Yeah.
You know,
can easily
you
just
hold
prompt
hands
him
and get
yeah.
him
to pull down the pants.
Yeah.
And then he would sit on the potty. And as soon as he sat on the potty, we praised just the fact that he sat on the potty.
Sitting on the potty.
Because you want the potty to be, I don't mind being here. This is not a bad place to be. And if he voids immediately, and please always listen out for it, if the child voids immediately, praise! Like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas.
Get him up.
Yeah, make
it's
sure
on the
he
potty,
gets
he
up.
sees it.
Yes.
Oh, you did so.
And point out in the potty, exactly like that.
So that he can associate, oh, that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's
I
what...
did it in the potty.
Yes.
And he can, and then for what we did for this one, we had to reinforce it that he would not get it any other time. That he would receive immediately after we've done all that. Oh my gosh, you did it in the potty, you peed in the potty. Here you get this awesome thing. And it doesn't matter if he even sits right back down on the potty but he has that, whatever that reinforcer may be, but just for like a few minutes, max 5 minutes at most. And then you can withdraw it and it's like, okay, now we can pour the pee and flush the toilet. Yeah, and for a lot of kids, flushing the toilet is also reinforcing.
Yes, Veronga used to love it.
Yeah, so
he still does. Yeah.
So walking you still through, he would stand up, pull up his pants.
Yeah, and then he does the flushing himself.
And then you go to wash hands.
Yeah, which we follow the other procedures we have done. So now for the potty, the one thing I must say is, because it's intensive, for the therapist they'll be there, and for you even as the mom or the dad, you still need to follow the procedure, because
outside of therapy.
If they follow only in therapy, then the chances of success will be they are limited because you're not following all through. So for me, even myself, I had to do it. And one thing, before you engage on potty, you need to be ready yourself for the kind of commitment you're going to have to go through, because you don't want to do 2 days and that day you're not there. You want to be consistent.
I remember during the weekend, and this, I know this might be excessive for some, but it actually really worked, because they had outings. They would, they have things they're doing over the weekend.
We used to carry the potty in the boot.
They would carry the potty, but it worked.
It worked. So you need to be ready yourself, and then the toys. If it's that giraffe he likes, pick a toy he's really motivated by, and put it away. So that the motivation is still there.
I get this when I do pee in the potty.
You can imagine we all like me. I like chocolate, but if you give me chocolate today in the morning, tomorrow, the other day, I mean, my interest in the chocolate will go. So same thing with the toys. So we need to keep a variety of them that he likes or she likes, put them somewhere, and then
they're only accessible
for potty time. So he knows when he starts associating her. If I pee in this, I get my nice giraffe. Okay.
You increase the likelihood of the child doing that pee in the potty.
Yes.
And just to mention one thing, I know not every child will sit down and avoid immediately. So one thing we did do, we'd give at least a 5-minute window, and we'd have something. I sometimes would sit down and read Kerongo's story. So just to keep him engaged, because he's not just sitting there
we used
bored.
to sing with him.
Just sitting there bored, and I'm like, what am I doing here? You know, you don't want to make the potty bad at any point, or for the child not to want to be there. So we'd keep him just for 5 minutes. I mean, if nothing happens, and sometimes that's the case, it's fine.
Funny thing, we used to sing "Su Su 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 come out," and for some reason he really used to like it. So
you might find something that works for the child.
Yeah, it's what works for you
Yeah.
and your child.
Yeah.
What you two can do together.
Exactly.
And the thing is, as I said, it can be intensive, especially because you must put a reminder, like we say, on your phone.
Yeah.
Of every 45 minutes, it's time for him to.
Yeah.
Maybe another 10 minutes, time for him to take a sip of something.
Yeah.
Another no, because you must keep the fluids going.
Yes.
And the timing
Yeah.
coming along, so that the reason why we give the fluids is so that he has more chances of going to the bathroom and being successful.
And just another mention, in case the child does not go at all, it's fine. I mean, that happens. But at that point, you don't praise or anything. You just continue the steps, have them just pull up their pants, because you're not going to keep them on the potty forever. Have them pull up their pants, wash
Maximum
their hands.
5 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
For Kerong, I remember it was 5 minutes, yeah.
Pull up their pants and go. And then after that, obviously, because you know they've actually been drinking, be mindful of the triggers, and because you know what to look for. Your child may touch themselves, your child may wiggle, whatever your child may do, be mindful of that, knowing they've already drank quite a bit of liquid.
And they don't have to stay the whole 40 minutes if you notice them wiggling.
Yeah,
you know the signs.
Yeah.
If you see them,
Just
then
have them. All right, time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Time to go
yeah.
potty. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then have them go.
Yeah, then have them go.
Yeah.
So wish you best of luck. Then initially, what happened? He was successful for 3 times.
Yes, sitting on the
and then-
potty.
Yeah, sitting on the potty and
Yeah.
suing, taking
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Because every time you repeat time to go to the potty, most likely they are pressed by if you give enough fluids and what. So they start learning as they start associating the sensation of the bladder being full with the toilet. Yeah.
But at some point, we stopped being mindful of the time. It wasn't 45 minutes anymore. But us more mindful of the triggers, because you don't want him having the trigger being, oh, she says it, because it's 45 minutes, then I go. You want him to recognize it's, if I feel it, then I go.
And then I go.
Yes, yeah.
And trust us success.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions, please let us know. And please remember to like and subscribe Leo Autism Trust
On our YouTube channel.
Yes.
I hope this was helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
And the next time we'll include, especially when kids who I remember at one point Kerongo didn't like to sit on the potty.
Yeah. Because the
So
potty
used to-
might be aversive.
Yeah, aversive.
for some.
Yeah, I used to find it aversive, not something like they like. So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that one of the episodes, and in case they're having issues with, maybe you give their reinforcing thing is a phone.
Yes.
Then 2 minutes later, you have to take it away. The
Do I want to
challenging
keep the
behavior
phone?
is coming. Yeah. So we'll talk about that
Yeah.
soon in one of our episodes.
Yeah. And if you have anything that you do want us to discuss and we're able to, please let us know and we will bring it up.